Okay, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of Morning Scone presented by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. Of course, Hudco Roofing. If you got a roof issue, and it is storming this morning, so if you are in the area being affected by this weather, give us a shout 364-1007, 364-1007, or just holler at me directly. Happy to facilitate. All right, y'all. Couple things on the docket today, and we'll get to your comments as always. So please, if you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel, Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. Welcome to our friends at LinkedIn as well. So if you're watching there, we appreciate you for being there. Go ahead and connect with me. That'd be great. We know LSU's opponent in the Sweet 16, Kim Mulkey squad, will take on UCLA. The Bruins were a winner over Creighton in the women's tournament. So LSU will take on UCLA Saturday noon on ABC. So one of the real changes in the women's basketball tournament that's benefited that certainly benefited the sport as a whole is broadcasting these tournament games on ABC, not on ESPN, 2U, all that stuff, but on the three-letter network. And it goes to show you what Kim Mulkey's squad means as a national brand, that this is the second time now that they've landed on ABC. So LSU, the 3 seed against UCLA, the 2 seed. I'm looking at the matchup predictor from ESPN, and they have LSU as a slight favorite in this ball game. We'll see what the line says. Something to remember. And so UCLA beat Creighton last night, 67-63. But something to remember is, so LSU has a full extra day of rest, and LSU is going from Baton Rouge to Albany with, again, a full extra day of rest. UCLA has to fly from Los Angeles to Albany. I mean, they have to fly completely across the country. Now, they're young people. They're resilient. I'm sure they'll be fine. But any little potential edge you look for is interesting. UCLA scores a lot. They average 77 a game. And LSU allows 62 a game. So there's a 15-point differential there. It is going to be really interesting to see that give and take there. LSU's defense has been really good, but UCLA's offense is really good. So flip side, LSU's offense averages 86 a game, and UCLA's defense allows 60. So there's a 15-point gap between UCLA's offense and LSU's defensive points allowed. There's a 25-point gap between LSU's offense and UCLA's defense. Quite honestly, LSU at 30-5 was probably underseeded. UCLA's 27-6, really good team. But this is a game that LSU probably should win in advance. And if they do, then they, as we've talked, they would very likely see Caitlin Clark and Iowa. Iowa, incidentally, plays Colorado in the Sweet 16. And if you remember, Colorado was LSU's first game of the year, and they really embarrassed LSU out in Las Vegas, 92-78. That's a very veteran Colorado team. So, and Kim Mulkey said at the beginning of the year, and so you got a veteran Colorado team taking on Iowa. So, listen, the women's college basketball field are certainly wanting to see and hoping for, pulling for, cheering for a rematch of LSU and Iowa. Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese on the same floor again after the "you can't see me" stuff last year in the championship game. Of course, that's what everybody's hoping to see. If you're an LSU fan, I think you'd probably rather get a rematch with Iowa. See how far you've come from the beginning of the year. And obviously, you wouldn't have to tangle with Caitlin Clark, who always is a threat to go off for 40. So, in any event, LSU advances to the Sweet 16. They'll take on UCLA again Saturday noon Central Time. All right, we'll get some good mornings here. Tigers, baseball Tigers, tied against Southeastern at the box. LSU and Southeastern, of course, played already once this year in Hammond. That was the game where LSU came back, rallied in the ninth, take the lead, and when Southeastern was an out away from upsetting LSU, but couldn't close the door, and LSU came back, rallied, and won it. So I'll be curious to see with both Kate Anderson and Javen Coleman having thrown on Sunday. Hard to imagine either of them coming back tonight as the starter for any extended work. So maybe do we see Cam Johnson? It's worth noting, Cam Johnson was warming up in the bullpen for LSU on Sunday and was going to pitch the ninth if LSU hadn't gotten run ruled in the eighth. So for whatever that is worth, maybe we see Cam Johnson tonight back on the bump. So who they start will be interesting. Jay Johnson's been pretty adamant. He's trying to get Ethan Fry in the lineup more. So is Fry DH and Travinsky catch, or maybe it's because it's a midweek game. Fry DHs and Travinsky gets a night off. I don't know. Maybe they put Fry in the outfield. That'll be interesting to see. Certainly curious about Jake Brown's injury and how he might be coming along from that, and when he's ready to go, because it's probably going to be your option in center field for everybody who wants to see a change there because of Paxton Kling's offensive struggles. The only guy who really gives you an athletic enough option in center field is Jake Brown, and he can certainly swing it. So we shall see tonight with Southeastern at the box. Okay, let's say some good morning, y'all. You know the drill. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe up to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Scone page, share the post. As always, shout out to Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, Brock. They're the best. And, of course, if you got roof issues, give us a shout, 364-1007, 364-1007, 364-1007. Restored Motions, ProCharge EV. Appreciate y'all for being with us. Pat Huseman, good morning. Matt Plavidal, good morning. Boy, the rain still out past 7 p.m. making that money. Go get it, bro. Go get that money. That's right. That's the attitude we need here, Matt. Don't worry about that rain. It's just a thing, bro. Go get that money. That's what I'm talking about, dog. I love it. That's the attitude I want, man. Ethan Davidson, good morning. Fitness, good morning. Jeremy Fontana, Trivia Carter, good morning. Casey Smith, Game Coin update. Casey, let me see. Let me see. I'm surprised we had a couple of Mondays have passed when we should have had an update posted. So I don't want to say something I'm not supposed to for reasons why potentially why they haven't posted anything on the social. But let me find out today for you. Ask me tomorrow. I'll find out today. Ask me tomorrow. Hey, Dad, good morning. Von Bluesman, good morning. Craig Duga had Weller 12 a few nights ago. Confirmed Old Weller Antique rather than Weller 12. Fundamentally disagree with you. I think Old Weller Antique, which is the red Weller, is the least of the Wellers, in my opinion. Weller 12, the black label Weller right here, is the best. I could hear an argument for Weller Foolproof. Wendell Norman, good morning. Bob Poole, good morning. Brett Guidry, good morning. I know you're a grammar nerd like I am. It bothers me so much when sportscasters pluralize people's names, such as the Peyton Mannings, the Andy Reeds, etc. I actually agree with you. Why can't you just say people like Peyton Manning or Andy Reid instead of the Peyton Mannings of the world, the Andy Reeds of the world? Yes, I agree with you, actually, Brett. Craig Dugas. What's crazy is after chasing Weller for so long and securing quite a few bottles of different variations, I rarely even reach for them anymore. Yeah, man, that's weird. I drink my Wellers all the time, but I love weeded bourbon. So this shelf right here, all my Wellers, I got an old Fitz 8-year right there, and then my mash bill 2s, the Hancock Reserve, Elmer T. Lee, Rock Hill Farms, Bland's. This is the shelf where I live the most. Right here. This is where I live. All my top shelf stuff is amazing, but I don't save it. I drink it, but it's usually when people are over, we'll pull down those bottles. All of these are amazing as well. Parker's Heritage right there is great. That's Caribou, which is cool bottle, light proof. Don't love it. Got a bunch of Whistle Pigs here, Old Elk, a bunch of different variations of Elijah Craig, Jefferson's. Here's my Jack Daniels Coy Hill, which is awesome. I drink that a lot too. And then down here, I've got all my this is like all my E.H. Taylors. I got all of them, all my E.H. Taylors right there. I have 4, 5, 6, 7 different bottles of Midwinter Night's Dram, all the High West offerings there. I don't know, I got a lot of stuff, as you can tell. But to your point, Craig, like I live here. Okay, there's your whiskey minute for the day. Tim Gotro, good morning. Saw a tweet from Nick Underhill on DA talking about Ramchik's progress on the knee. Not exactly encouraging news. Yeah, so at the NFL owners meetings every year, there's one day where all the coaches, I guess yesterday was AFC, today's NFC. All the coaches, they have a round 10 top table. I mean, you've seen them all, right? The round 10 top table with the white tablecloth. You go to a banquet at a hotel, and there's the round 10. Like they have one of those where every coach has their own table, and anyone meet is like they have breakfast, and media can come up and talk to them. So um, I have not yet seen Dennis Allen's quotes or what they've discussed yet today, but I'm going to talk about that heavily today on AFR for sure. And as for Ramchick, that's concerning, man. If he's not able to go, that only magnifies what I think is the biggest weakness on this team right now, which is your offensive line, which is strange because it used to be such a strength. And the Saints invest so much draft capital into the line of scrimmage. I mean, just think about um, on both sides of the line from Brian Brzee, Isaiah Foskey last year, Trevor Penning, Cesar Ruiz, Eric McCoy, Ryan Ramczyk, Peyton Turner, Marcus Davenport. I mean, the Saints invest a ton of draft capital, high draft capital in the line of scrimmage. And unfortunately, they've had some misses and they've let some guys get away. So, Andrews Pete, it's been 10 years, but, they invest a ton of first round, early draft capital in the line of scrimmage. And unfortunately, it just hasn't worked out in the last couple of years. And if Ramchik's not there, it magnifies your problem because that means if Ramchik is limited or unable to go, that means the only two linemen starting you return are McCoy at center and Ruiz at right guard. That's it. So you got a lot of work to do. Jaden Burrow, more Matt, thoughts on the 6'5" transfer guard from Arkansas? Yeah, for those that missed it, Kim Mulkey got a transfer yesterday from Arkansas commitment, former McDonald's All-American. So come on. I mean, 5-star McDonald's All-American. If Kim Mulkey wants her, she's a dude. Let's go. Jason H., good morning. Bubba Smith, good morning. Jason asked for the kicks of the day. It's Air Max Day, 326, Team Drew Shoe Gang. You know what? Maybe I will put on my Air Max. I have one pair of Air Maxes, and they're sort of like Carolina blue. They're like baby blue. Maybe I will put those on today. This shirt has, I don't know if you could tell, but so I always try to match my shoes to my shirt. So this has blue, green, and maroon. So maybe that baby blue will be a nice offset. It's a good idea. I think I'll do that. Rocky Killian, what up? Do the Saints have genuine interest in Keon Coleman? Yeah, of course they do. I mean, they're bringing him in for a pre-draft visit, and you only get 30 of those. 30. Yeah, your top 30. So you can only get 30 to take a closer look at the top prospect. So the Saints are using one of their pre-draft visits on Keon Coleman. So, yeah, if you're going to use one of your top 30 visits on Keon Coleman, you have sincere interest in him. And I would love it if that works out, by the way. I think Keon Coleman would be a no-doubter for the New Orleans Saints if you can get him in round 2. Talked a good bit about that yesterday. I don't think you're going to take him at 14, but if in a draft where, again, the top of the receiver room seems set, Coleman, after running 4.61, seems to have dropped on people's boards. Yeah, man. If he's lingering there when the Saints pick at 45, I would love it if they took him. I need to go stop Drew's backpack. I'll be right back. Y'all sit down. Okay. Apologies there, y'all. Please smash that like button if you would. Let's see. B Rock, what up? Brant Roban. This season, LSU's looking like last year's Tennessee team. 5-10 in SEC play. Things started clicking. Made it to Omaha. We'll see. Yeah, and that was a Tennessee team. Remember coming off a season where they were the best team in college baseball, but lost in the college or didn't even make it to the College World Series. 2 years ago, Tennessee had one of the best seasons ever and got upset in their home Super Regional by Notre Dame. And then last year they started conference play 5-10 and made it all the way to Omaha on the backs of really good pitching that came around. So yeah, I think that's a real we talked about it yesterday on AFR with David DeLucci, and he brought up that comp, and I think it's a great one. Taylor Hudson, good morning. Kelly Gross, good morning. Jeff McKithen, good morning. Harry Heisenberg, Josh Dobbs signed 1 year, $2 million with the Niners. Saints should have explored. Sure. Here's the thing, though, Harry. I kind of feel like they're leaning into Jake Haener winning that backup job. Like, I think Peterman is a camp arm to bring in an experienced veteran to challenge, but they used a 4th-round pick on Jake Haener last year. Like, they're not punting on him. So I think they're going to go to camp with the idea of Jake Haener being their backup quarterback. Let's see. Craig Dugas, Doge is on a run, still holding on to a good chunk. Craig, everything is on a run in crypto right now. It's a really fun time. And y'all, the Bitcoin halving is next month. So we haven't even gotten to the Bitcoin halving yet. Bitcoin's at 71,000 today. It's up 6%. XRP, which I have a big bag of XRP, is up 2.5% today. It's at 64.5 cents. I mean, y'all missed the fun last time. The train is just starting to roll. Ransom Antoine, good morning. Ethan Davidson, biggest problem I believe with Kling is he was our highest recruit last year, hasn't lived up to it. I think that's why everyone's disappointed. Well, of course. I mean, that's Ethan. That's natural in any sport, man. It's expectation. So when Kling was the number 1 player in Pennsylvania, and we've heard about it as he's a draft eligible sophomore and he's a 5-tool guy, of course, like expectation goes up. It's no different than like a 5-star recruit in football. It's why people had so much commentary or disappointment about Mason Smith. I mean, we heard forever about how we heard forever about how he's this dominant interior lineman, and the career didn't manifest that way. So people were disappointed. But the reason they're disappointed is because they had built these giant expectations for him. So yes, that goes without saying with any player in any sport that has those expectations. Craig Dugas, Hancock greater than Blanton's. Elmer T. Lee is my favorite of the mash bill twos, Craig. So that's where I would default. Brent St. Germain. James McKinney, what's going on? Michael Richard, good morning. How do you think the Saints are doing in picking up people and letting go? Michael Richard from the Best Bank. Michael, not great. I mean, your biggest additions are Willie Gay and Chase Young, and you have young veteran players on 1-year deals. You got them affordably, 1-year prove-it deals, but how much better has it really made your team? You certainly still need help at receiver, and you have not done a thing to address your gigantic concerns on the offensive line. So Jeremy Fontana, Kling will come around, but right now he isn't seeing the ball. Jeremy, I've told you this before. If you watch Paxton Kling hit, go watch his strikeout. If you can, I know none of y'all are going to go back and watch it. But if you go back and watch his first strikeout of the game on Sunday, he struck out twice. Paxton Kling is, I've told you all this for weeks because I had this conversation with a scout. I was like, man, what's going on with Kling? It's like he's pressing, like he is trying to dead pull everything to hit homers because it's a draft year. So he's trying to show he can hit with power. And when you watch Paxton Kling, his left shoulder is flying wide open and his head is down the line. I mean, you cannot hit the ball if you can't see the ball. And so he is flying wide open, trying to dead pull everything. So he's swinging over the top of everything. Paxton Kling needs to do what Alex Milazzo did, which is be patient, let the ball travel, go up the middle and to the opposite field. Like, start making good contact, putting the ball in play, and then you'll get into a groove. But he is pressing so much right now. Because he is just trying to dead pull everything. Watch him. You watch the game tonight. If Paxton Kling's in the lineup, watch his swings and misses and watch him looking down the left field line. His left shoulder is flying wide open. He's looking down the left field line. I mean, it's easy to see what's happening. Like, I mean, it wasn't my idea. I had a scout tell me that, but it's like, but now I watch it every time. I'm like, oh yeah, that's exactly what he's doing. Jason Horn, did you and Hot Rod open the bottle yet? We have not. And I'm disappointed about that too. Bailey C, I will say, what that journalist said about Louisiana is true. It's a rough place. Even if it's our home, we can't have our head in the sand. Okay. But oftentimes, Bailey, it's not just the message. It's who is delivering the message that matters. Like, sometimes when you're a kid, you didn't want your parent telling you what was cool and what wasn't cool because they're your parent. You had to have someone who you thought of as cool deliver that message. That's the problem. Like, I know Louisiana has its flaws, its issues. I talk about them a lot. I don't need a guy who's a South Carolina grad working at the Washington Post using Brian Kelly's contract to point out issues in Louisiana when the gigantic misnomer, which I talk about all the time, is that our state government isn't funding or paying Brian Kelly's contract. That's the stupidest thing. That's all done. Like, coaches' salaries done through TAF. It's private donations. You have an issue with that? Go talk to the rich people who are funding it. Have taken issue with them, not the state. That's the point. Brian Wynn, what's good? Craig Dugas read something about assisted instant replay. They overturn calls live in games. They're already doing that. They did that in the NFL last year. Bailey C. Right. Okay. George Bucher. What's going on, George? Good morning. Do about 5 more minutes, y'all. Charlie Cavell. Good morning. Ransom Antoine. Fashanu at left tackle. Move Penning to left guard. That could be scary. So he's talking about Olu Fashanu, by the way, is the Penn State offensive tackle. Olu, OLU, Fashanu is his last name. That's my dream scenario. Is Fashanu at left tackle, and if you kick Penning into left guard, and he can play, sort of in a phone booth at left guard. That's what you did with Andrews Pete. When you drafted him to be a tackle, he couldn't play on the outside. He ended up being a starter for you at left guard. So, Jason Horn said, "Is it time for the Matt Shuffle?" It's not time for the Matt Shuffle. I think the Matt Shuffle is over. Until we have a new dance with which to do the shuffle, a new jingle with which to do the shuffle. Mac McGuire, Morning Scone. Been listening to Morning Scone for a long time, but I don't get to catch the show live often. Want to say thank you for all the great content through the years. Thank you, Mac. Very kind of you, man. Thank you so much for watching when you can. I appreciate you, man. Burnell Thomas, morning, Rolling Sconers. Will the Saints still look at drafting a linebacker? I think the only way you do that, Vernell, is if you feel like there's great value somewhere in the draft. But remember, you extended DeMario Davis, you got Pete Werner, you just signed Willie Gay to a 1-year deal, albeit I would say, maybe a mid or late round pick, a player you could stash on the practice squad and develop for a year and then make a decision next year, depending on how Willie Gay does. Melanie Wilson Willis. Morning, Matt. How do you think LSU fans will travel to Albany? Your core people will go, your friends and family. But most people will will save their travel dollar, the travel budget for the Final Four if LSU makes it. Corey Peterson, appreciate your news updates for LSU and the Saints. God bless you, brother. May God continue to shine his brightest light upon you and yours. I love that. Thank you, Corey. God bless you too, man. Great uplifting way to start the day. Appreciate you, man. Rocky Killian, I'm with you. I prefer KC in the second, then B. Thomas in the first. Oh, Coleman. Got it. Keon Coleman in the second. Got it. Joel Cunningham, what proof is your Coy Hill? 148. Rocky, sorry, did that one. Brett Kidry, go Pels. Good interview yesterday with George Sedano in AFR if you missed it. George does a lot of national NBA talk for ESPN, so if you missed it, go catch that on demand. It'll be on the Pelicans Scoop YouTube channel. Ask everyone out of all of our coaches, who would you rather sit down and have a beer or cocktail with? Also not speak a word of any LSU sports. Brian Kelly. Go Pels, move up to fourth place. Big game tonight. Jason Drew's doing good. Thank you for asking. Jay Borden, Jeremy Fontana, pressing every at bat. I've been watching Matt. Totally agree. Okay. Ray Langlois, what's going on? Time for Toby to make a new show. Robert Potts, Matt, looking ahead a bit. Did you catch Iowa last night? West Virginia doesn't have finish, it seems, but they gave a blueprint to beating Iowa again. Hope the Lady Tigers start faster this game against UCLA. Ransom Antoine. Yeah, I destroyed his name. It's all good, too. Okay, I got to go. It's 8 o'clock. Y'all have a great day. If you're on YouTube, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. Facebook, like the Matt Moscona page, share the post. For our LinkedIn friends like Ray, go ahead and connect and repost this. Remember, as always, brought to you by Brock, the Baton Rouge Orthopedic Clinic. You need an orthopedist, go to Brock. They're the best. brortho.com. brortho.com. We appreciate them greatly and always for sponsoring us here on Morning Scone. And tons of bad weather in the area, y'all. It's been storming all day, all night, and all morning. If you got roof issues, give us a shout. 364-1007, 364-1007. Or just message me directly. I'm happy to help facilitate. We'd love to help you out. Okay, y'all have an awesome day. LSU Daily is already live. We'll see you for AFR 3. Peace.